Welcome back, everyone. We're joined now with the San Angelo Chief of Police, Frank Carter. Frank, thank you for coming in. We appreciate you taking a few moments. The waiting game's over.
Yes,
we
sir,
found out there will not be an opponent. You can kind of look past now that waiting game. We were just mentioning you get in your own head, wondering who's going to file and how the whole process is going to take place. But we'll get into moving forward here in your second term. But looking back now on the last 4 years, are you satisfied with the overall goal that you had in mind moving forward into your second term?
I am. It's been a short 4 years. We've accomplished a lot of things within the department, and there's a lot of them to list. But some of the things that stand out that we accomplished over the last 4 years is increasing our manpower. Forever, it's been a sworn officers at 165. Our population has grown over the years, so. With the endorsement of council and council passing the resolutions, we were able to raise that to authorized strength of 175. So that's something I'm very proud of. Something else that was authorized by council is updated video equipment in our cars and body cameras. That was a $1.6 million venture, so not very cheap. And it's something that it took a while to get at that price tag, but it's something we needed. It shows the camera footage in real time. It's a transparency issue with the public, and it not only serves a purpose for the officer, but it also serves a purpose for the violator.
Looking at the crime rates, bringing the numbers down, adding more patrol, adding different equipment, what kind of goes into that whole process?
There's a bunch of moving parts when you start talking about crime rates, and as a police chief, that's one of the scores on your report card. And we're truly happy. Over the past 3 years, we've had a reduction in crime in our city. As far as the moving parts, that goes hand in hand with adding officers, which enables you to add more units to be more proactive rather than reactive. So over the last 3 years, we've been able to reduce crime roughly about 16%, which we're very proud of, and we'll continue to work on as we move forward.
There was that report of, misreporting the crime rate. I know there were some citizens that were talked about, and you've been vocal about it as well. And can you just touch on that?
That crime, that article was dating back all the way from 2011 into 2016, and it did show that we had a 20% increase in crime. And as a police chief or a mayor or city council, that's certainly not where you want your city to be. Rated as one of the top 25 violent cities with our population. Again, some of that, after looking into it, was double reporting to the state. We have since, as I said, we had a reduction in crime of 16% over the last 3 years.
And I know the response times, the numbers have gotten tremendously better under your term, and I think that's a kudos to you and your department. If you want to just touch on your officers underneath you that are really responding to these calls.
Our vehicles now are equipped with GPSs, so when the call comes in from dispatch and it's a priority 0 or a priority 1 call, which are the most dangerous calls that we respond to, that CAD system picks up the two closest units to that call, and they respond. And on average, on our priority 0 or priority 1 call, we're averaging 4 minutes to those calls right now.
Going into your second term, what's the main focus? What is the number one goal that you really want to tackle that maybe you haven't had the chance to do here in your first term?
There's several things, but one that comes to the top of my head is looking for a new facility, a new building. The building that we're in now was built basically in 1959. It's constantly in repairs. We're putting Band-Aids on it. We've outgrown it. So I'll be looking strongly over this next 4 years at a new facility, whether it's a building already existing or finding a piece of land to build a building.
And that's a good start for your new applicants. What can you do to really bring up your numbers to get these young men and women that want to be police officers here to apply to San Angelo and be a part of this force?
I rely a lot on our officers. I think if they're enjoying what they're doing and enjoying the work that they're doing for the city and work in a good environment, they're the ones that go out and do the recruiting for you. And although recruiting down nationwide for police officers is down, we still have a pool of applicants. And like you said earlier, we'll be tested in March and the end of March, and we're always looking for people to apply. And we'll have Academy probably starting in June.
There's an unfortunate stigma, I believe anyway, that right now of being a police officer, and it's not what it used to be, say, 10 years ago.
Sure.
There, with media, doesn't necessarily help that situation either. What do you say to the young man or woman that wants to be a police officer but necessarily doesn't want to deal with that backlash right now?
And with social media, I think there's more things that come to light around the nation that you ordinarily probably wouldn't have seen in the past. There's not a day go by that you probably don't look at social media, the news in general, and you see that an officer's been shot. But I preach to those cadets, I preach to new applicants that that's the 1%. The 99% of this community supports you, and they understand what your job is, and you do that with pride and empathy. They'll stand behind you 100% of the time.
Well, I speak on behalf of our station here at Fox, and of course, San Angelo, welcome again, and thank you, and good luck, and appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, sir.